Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. Today's show, we're taking your calls. Love these call shows. We're going to be answering your questions about sex, love, dating. It's a good one. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily. You got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com. Here's what you got to do when you get there. First of all, you're just going to be swept away with all the content. If you ever check out our blogs and our videos, it's a good time. You can also easily subscribe to the podcast. We do 2 a week. We definitely do podcasts on Tuesdays and Fridays. We've got some quickie podcasts now that are coming out on Thursdays. So that's fun. And also, please follow me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. It's all at Sex with Emily. And I just want to just give a shout out to all my new listeners and subscribers. Wow, we've had an amazing few months here. We just have so many more listeners. Our numbers are crazy. Hit over 1 million downloads this past month. And I just could not do any of this without your support and your love. I love hearing from you, your emails, your calls. It's all amazing. So thank you for being here and being part of the Sex with Emily family. I love what I do, and because of you, I get to do it, make it happen. So thanks. So I've been trying this experiment the last week or two. I mean, I've been thinking about it for a few months, but I'm really trying to stick to it. And that is, I'm trying to leave my cell phone outside my bedroom. Okay. Like I'm trying to charge it outside. I bought an alarm clock. So it's just not in my room because I've got these books I want to read. I've got things I want to do. And then I get in bed and I've got my cell phone and I'm answering emails, or I'm just looking at things I don't even care about. You know how it is. And I just feel like our phones and technology, they're all ruling our life. And I know you probably are yeah, I read about this every day. It's online, and millennials are addicted to their phones, and people would give up sex for their iPhones. And I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about yes, I think all of that is true. But what I'm saying is it is kind of a big distraction. And I feel like it's sucking so much of our life away. It's just spent on these phones. Not only is it for me, impacting my sleep, and I feel my productivity level, but also when we're so connected to our phones, we're not really connecting to the world. I feel sometimes I'm I could have called a friend back. I even feel I could be watching more TV. I know that sounds silly. I'm not a big TV watcher, but I did just get a TV. So for me, that's actually a priority. And I'm I'm on my phone. So I just feel we could be doing so many other things. And there's this lost black hole of the phone. And the reason why I think that this is so important to kind of look at it is because truly, the connections with others is really why we exist. We exist to really, be with other people and experience love and experience life. And then with our phones, it's such an isolating and can be a lonely experience as well. And so I just think it's, I'm trying to do that with my phone, and I'm trying to when I'm out with people, I leave it in my car. Yes, I'm actually doing that. And I just think it's something to think about and something to get back to. And I was thinking about this even more because this professor did a study. And it came, and she says that, and I agree with everything in here, so I kind of want to break it down for you, but it's tips for couples who think they're too tired. There's a professor that found that the decline in sex is due to the growing number of two-income families, okay? And it says that the number one cause for lack of sex is fatigue. And really, it's we have fatigue and we're tired, but it's not physical fatigue so much. We're not out there digging dishes. It's emotional fatigue. We're working harder than ever before, and we're busy, and we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and our minds are just crowded. We're distracted, right? I mean, I think I'm my most focused here on the show because I actually don't want my phone's next to me, but I'm super focused on what I'm saying. But otherwise, it's I know that we're all distracted by a million different gadgets in our life, right? I mean, it's not just the phone, but we've got the pings, the rings, the trickles, the swipes, and it's exhausting. So the first thing I want you to do, if you're in a relationship and, God, even if you're not in a relationship, because for me, it's even masturbation, I always tell you, but make sex a priority because nobody else is going to do that for you. And it's interesting because sex is actually the glue that keeps you together, keeps you in a relationship. And we all know masturbation is, really healthy just for our lives, for our emotional and physical well-being. But I think that we don't make sex a priority in our relationships because there's so many other things that are important. or really distracted. And, there's always something else to do. There's another email or another text to answer. But a lot of couples, they treat sex as like this afterthought. Like they put it on the back burner and like, well, after we put the kids to bed or after the kids are in college, then we'll get back to our sex life. And you just don't think it's important. And then what happens is time goes by and you're like, we haven't had sex in a month. We haven't had sex in a year. And it's really hard to go back and repair it after, so much time has passed. So I always tell people in relationships, no matter what stage you're in, like the first week, the first month, you've been together 20 years, that it is the glue. It's what keeps you together. Otherwise, you're just roommates. And that it's just important to prioritize your sex life over everything else. Like your phone will be there. Really just, I say no phone, no TVs in the bedroom. And just try it with me, you guys. Try it for a week. No phones in the bedroom. Okay? Here's another thing. Couples, it's important to like wake up together. I know your work schedules might be different and someone's get up an hour earlier, but not every single day. I would think there's times that you could just say, you know what, let's set the alarm clock for 10, 15 minutes earlier. And you can use that time just to connect, like physically, like physical connection. It's not just the sex. It's that physical intimacy, whether it's like cuddling or giving each other a kiss before you go to work, rather than waking up, alarm clock, and looking at your Instagram. Okay. I know you do it. I've done that. But really just to connect with your partner in that moment before you get on with the busyness of your day. Also, check your expectations of your relationship. I get emails all the time from people and questions. You guys call in, you're like, what's normal? Okay. I want to have sex twice a week. My partner wants it 5 times a week. Like, what's average? What's normal? And I'm not going to give you numbers. I'm not going to tell you like everybody should have sex twice a week. Culture is not going to define for you what is right for a relationship. Only you're going to define it for yourself. But it's like, I think that we don't think about sex as something to figure out. It's more like we got to check the box of sex. But the most important thing in your relationship is to communicate about it. Communication is a lubrication. And so start having that talk about sex and making it a priority. And the more that you talk about it and you think about it and you're engaged with like, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep this interesting? How are we going to prioritize sex? You're just going to find that sex won't be a problem in your relationship anymore. And you'll also be having better sex. Now, if you're one of those couples that you think about sex as like a task, a chore, it's drudgery. You're like, oh God, we have to have sex. Okay, I'm just going to go. I'm going to do it really quickly and get it over with. That's a problem. Think about every other thing on our to-do list that we don't get to. Sex will be another one of those items that you just can't check off the list. So if you lighten up and you think of sex as fun, you guys, I always say sex should be fun. And it's a time to like relax and play and connect and try different things. And if you think about it, sex is like the most pleasurable experiences we can have. And we can do it with our partners and we can reconnect. So remember, like, you love this person and sex is important and you're with them for a reason. So have fun, you guys. Have fun in the bedroom and reframe the way you think about sex. And when you're having sex, remember, it's not just about the orgasm. And I know that men a lot of times are really focused on their orgasm, or if their partner didn't have an orgasm, and women are like, oh, I didn't have a chance, or, I didn't orgasm. But I think a lot of times it's the men. It's funny. The men are like, I didn't have an orgasm and she didn't orgasm, so something's wrong with me. But remember, sex is just about intimacy. It's about being close to your partner and feeling connected, you guys, and feeling present and feeling like you're in the moment instead of like waiting for what's going to come. Because like an anticipated orgasm never boils. A watch pot never boils. If you're thinking about the orgasm and is it going to happen, then it takes you out of the moment. It takes you out of that actual moment of connecting with your partner. So just like remove that pressure to like have that orgasm and sex becomes a lot more relaxing. I promise. And how about when you're having sex, you spice it up with a little spontaneity. And you might think, I don't have time for like elaborate costumes and I don't have time to like tie my partner up. I'm just thinking, taking a moment. Like, even if you got kids, you guys are busy and maybe the kids are in bed or they're doing their homework and you catch each other's eyes, across the table, or you're walking up the stairs. You can take a moment and make out in the laundry room. You can take a moment and like wake up a little bit early or go to bed a little bit later and have a moment to have like impromptu sex, or, who knows, like in the car on the way home, pull over to the side of the road. So just be open. Like, a lot of times we might have these feelings like, God, I'm really hot for my partner right now, but gotta fold the laundry and I got to send this text. No, you don't. You actually are having a moment. And when we're in our bodies and we're present and we're like desiring our partner, just say go for that moment, because that moment might not come around again. And then finally, guys, let your FaceTime be real. Sex is an integral part of the health and well-being of your marriage and your relationship, whatever kind of relationship you're in. So turn off the TV and the computer. It's okay to have your favorite shows that you love together, but it's also okay to say, you know what, tonight after dinner, or like, we're going to work for an hour and then we're just going to give each other a massage, or we're going to go for a walk outside, you guys. It's like getting warm out again, right? It's been warm here in LA, but wherever you live, like the sun, it's spring, it's going to be summer. So like turn off the screen time, leave your phones at home and have some FaceTime like in real life. So think about that, you guys. You are in control of your cell phone. It's not in control of you. Okay, you guys, thanks so much for listening. We're going to give a big shout out to our sponsors here. Thank you so much for supporting them and for supporting the show. And we'll be right back with your calls. Okay, we've got Rick. He's 33 from San Jose, and he feels like maybe he's cheating on his wife because his sex drive is through the roof and he's masturbating a lot. Hi, Rick. How was that? Is that about your question? How are you? Thanks for calling in.
Hey, Emily. How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Of course. Tell me what's going on.
Like I said, I've been married for, actually been with my wife for close to 17 years now, and of course we've got our ups and downs and stuff. Lately, sex has been really great, but for ever since I can remember, I've always just had this, overall this like obsession with masturbation. Like when I first discovered it, it's just like a great feeling. Helps me stay focused, and lately it's been on a higher, my sex drive has gone through the roof higher. We're
right.
having sex regularly, like I said, but sometimes it's just not enough. Like I feel the need to sometimes just get myself off, just to satisfy.
That's fine though. I mean, that masturbating.
My urges.
Well, here's the okay. So you're 33. You've been with your wife for 17 years. So since you were 17 years old.
Pretty much, yes. I was there when I was 17.
Okay, and she's the only woman you've been with?
Actually, one other woman. There was infidelity, about 5 years into the relationship, but that was just
right.
So just her, one other person. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. And so your question is, there's masturbation is completely healthy. It's normal. Everyone should continue to masturbate when they're in a relationship, when they're not in a relationship, throughout our lifetime. So
exactly.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that.
So,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So my thing was actually, I did discuss this, issue with her and stuff, and she's not really the type to, I guess she doesn't like the idea so much that I'm doing this behind her back, So, I guess, sometimes you get those urges where it's like, well,
of course.
Sorry, my urge is a little stronger than, my, how do you call it, my guilt factor, I guess.
Right, right. Of course.
Yeah.
You have to masturbate. I don't understand. So she's telling you not to masturbate. And you feel guilty for masturbating right now? Or is it like, are you masturbating to the point where you feel like it's excessive and you can't go to work, or there's consequences, or it's just...
No, it's not like that bad. It's more to the fact where she'll ask me every now and then, like, especially like when I'm in the shower, she'll be like, oh, did you, do that? And if I did, I'll be like, no, of course not. One time I did, I tested it, and I said, yeah, she's like, oh, wow, just, can't believe it. It's like, so it's always like the idea behind my head, it's like, well, I know that she's never really going to go for it, but like I said, but I know that
Right, of course.
A lot better than cheating.
Absolutely. So she doesn't understand that masturbating is part of a healthy sex life and being a healthy sexual individual. It's part of sexual life for everybody.
She says that she would rather me do it, in front of her than if I get the urge, but it's not the same. It's like if I'm there and I'm watching, it's just, the mental, it's just not, it's not, it's not like a turn on or anything, but.
How is your sex life with her?
It's actually, it's lately been a lot better. We're having sex maybe on average about once a week on average. Sometimes maybe if we're lucky, more. We do have kids in the house, so we kind of got to make it work.
That's great. There's nothing wrong here except for the fact that she's not accepting that you masturbate. So I don't know how else she could listen to the show. You could, there's a lot of great information out there. We write about it all the time on our website, but there's nothing that you're doing wrong. And it's really a matter of, just having her under, you could probably tell her all you want. It doesn't sound like that's working, but have you really sat down with her and, had her read something, show, you guys can listen to the show together. It's very, that it's healthy. She should be masturbating as well. Maybe if she got on that, if she went on that trip, she'd be like, that's cool. I'm going to self-love over here. You go over there. But it just sounds like she just doesn't have a lot of information, and she needs more information to understand that this is healthy. And masturbation is a very healthy expression. People in relationship, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what else, really, you just got to talk, because I feel bad that she's making you hide and making you lie. For something that's completely normal.
There you go.
Okay. Exactly. So there's zero problem.
There's dual, sorry, go ahead.
There's no problem here except for the fact that you're feeling guilty, and that, so you have two choices. You can continue to masturbate and just be like, what, I know I'm doing something healthy and she doesn't know, or you can be like, babe, it's not going to end. In fact, I think that you should masturbate as well. And yes, if you'd like to masturbate together, I'm a huge fan of mutual masturbation. I think it's a great way for couples to learn about what each other feel, learn about how we like to touch ourselves and what feels good. And then also like, it's just really hot. It's like putting on your own little porn together. So those are your options. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not every time you don't
And
have
then
to
when
mutual masturbate, but mutually masturbate. But
yeah, exactly. When we do mutual masturbation, it's awesome. Like I said, we'll like do each other off and stuff.
But
and
she can't
like
shame
I said,
you.
You know what?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So like when it's both of us, it's one thing. But if she's just, for her just saying, okay, you go ahead, I'll watch it. Like, that's not in that mindset, So yeah, and just like I said, it's just, I know it's a normal thing. I know you talk about it a lot, and it's just,
Yeah,
and I just,
you're fine. You're good. You're totally fine, honey. Like I'm
human nature and stuff. So.
Absolutely. So let her know. You guys can listen to this together.
Good.
Okay. Thanks, Rick.
Hey, no, you know what? Absolutely, will do.
Keep
hey,
doing
Emily.
you. Okay. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Bye,
Take
you
care.
too.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
It's funny because I do talk about masturbation all the time, you guys, and it is healthy. We did it before we met our partner. We did it when we were in relationships. We do it when we break up. I mean, really, like it's part. Hopefully, they'll be together forever. 17 years is pretty good, Rick. But I really don't know what else. Like, I can't go in there and change people's beliefs. But this is even like scientific proof about masturbation being healthy, and that we need it. Like it's healthier for men, for their prostates, for women, for depression, for their skin, for sleep. There's so many health benefits to masturbation. And in fact, I should have told Rick, and you all know masturbation month is around the corner. It's in May. So hey, maybe that'd be a good time to kick it off with her and be, babe, this whole month we're going to masturbate together. They made a whole month about it. How bad could it be? Okay, let's take another call. Okay, we've got Kim. She's 35 from DC, and she's still pining for the one that got away. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Emily. How are you?
So good. Now that I'm talking to you, what's going on?
So I'm newly divorced, and I've been on the dating apps, and it's like horrifying. So recently I reconnected with an old crush, and it turns out he just separated from his wife. So we kind of agreed that, we can't jump into a relationship, and he was kind of like the one that got away 15 years ago. So now I'm kind of like, man, I really want to take advantage of this opportunity. So we agreed to like a rendezvous weekend, maybe a friends with benefits situation, or possibly a one-night stand. So I've never done that before. So how do I not catch any feelings? Like, I've never done it before, so I'm worried,
This
I'm
is gonna, you will. I mean, you really can't.
A fun time.
It's like a cold. Like you could go get like the vaccination, you could get the shot for the flu, you could do all this stuff, and you still might catch the cold. Like there's nothing. I can't tell you. Like just talk to him about it and just slap those feelings down. Like it sounds like you already have the feels, and you haven't even had sex with him yet. And I'm
trying not to.
What, you're trying not to? You said, or to get the feels or to have sex with him? You can't. I mean, here's the thing. How long? I need to understand some background data here. So how long were you married?
9 years.
Okay.
And he's been married for 10.
Got it. And you're both going through divorce right now?
Yeah.
And it's just coincidence at the same time? You were like, oh, he like came up on your Bumble? This actually happened to a friend of mine the other day, so I get it. You just found out he was single because he...
Oh.
Or no? Are you guys still friends?
Oh, no. So we have mutual friends, and on Facebook... Apparently, he met up with one of our mutual friends out in California, and then I saw it in my feed, and I was like, "Oh, hey, why don't I just hit him up and see how he's going? Like, what's going on with him? What's up with him?" And then, like, our conversation like escalated very quickly, and we talked about my divorce and that he's newly separated from his wife. He's about to go through the same thing. And then we just talked about how we both have been missing out all these years and what we're not getting from our partners.
Right. So, I mean, okay, so, and he's where? He's in California or? No.
Yeah,
he's
in California.
Okay, and you're in D.C. So the truth is, and wait, did you guys make a plan to meet yet?
Yes, in 2 weeks.
How fun. Okay, wait, this is good. So where are you meeting? In California?
California.
Even better. Okay. Just because I'm in California. Here's the thing. So I think you might have a really great time with him, and it could be amazing, and it's going to be a fun weekend, and you don't know what's going to happen. So here's the thing. I could tell you like all this advice right now, like just keep your mind open, or like, go in there. Maybe you should, try to go on a bunch of dates this week. Maybe you'll meet someone else before you see him. But no, you're going to go. You're going to have a good time. Have you not seen him in 10 years either?
Oh, I haven't seen him in 15 years.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
So who knows? Like, he might be a totally different guy. There might be no attraction anymore. Fireworks could fly. We don't know. So if you could just, and I think it's true, to be honest, like, I want to tell you, like, probably shouldn't jump into another relationship right now. Like, you're just getting out of a relationship. Do you have children?
No.
Do you have kids? Okay. Well, that makes it a little easier. I mean, the divorce part. But I'm saying, like, you got your life in DC. You are newly single. It's just a good time to, like, take that time away from the breakup, from your marriage ending, and work on yourself and figure out what you want. So you probably shouldn't get into a relationship. But the truth is, and he's telling you, let's do friends with benefits. You can't label anything before it's even before it's happened. You shouldn't label it anyway too quickly. I mean, marriage, yes. Commitment, yes. But right now, let's be the friends with benefits. You can't pre-label friends with benefits. In fact, I don't think. None of this works. So I think just go and have a good time and don't trip on it and keep living your life. And who knows? Maybe you guys, it'll be amazing and you'll commit and you'll move to California, or it'll be a long distance thing. I don't know, but I wouldn't worry about it so much, because I can't tell you how not to catch the feels.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would really, I can't just use protection. Yep. And so that's all. That's the only thing I can tell you. Use protection and, be honest, be authentic, be yourself, and have a good time. And listen to what he says, though. He definitely doesn't follow up after, or things like that happen. Then, just those are your signs. You might not want to follow up with him. So just have a good time.
Okay, thank you.
And work on yourself. You're welcome. Bye, Kim.
Bye.
Bye. I never thought about this way before. It's like, if you think about it, it's like to say, like, let's just see each other when you first meet someone. Like, let's go on one date a week, or let's just be a friends with benefits if you haven't seen, even though she knew him 15 years ago. I think, we all worry. We worry so much about the future, the past. We don't know what the hell's going to happen. But this moment, I think she should just go and have a good time. And you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Okay, we've got Dee. She's 27 from Queens, and being on top just does not work for her. So she wants to explore how she can work on it. Hi, Dee.
Hi, Emily. How are you?
Hi, so good. Thanks for calling in. How can I help you with this today?
Thanks for having me.
Of course. This is so fun.
So, like you said, I'm extremely inflexible hips. I was a runner in college, and I got injured. So it's difficult for me to do things like sit in a squatting position or sit down for too long or be on top. And so I was wondering what your advice was for navigating that, because me and my current significant other, we have explored a couple of different positions that we could use, but really it works really well for us if I am on top for a little bit, just to mix it up. So I wanted to see what you thought and how we could.
Yeah. So tell me about so when you're on top, it just, because you could be laying, you want alternatives to, or you want variations of woman on top, cowgirl, or do you just want different sex positions?
I guess different variations of being on top.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you could do reverse cowgirl too. Have you tried that, where you like lay back and then your legs are, you're twisted around? So that's one way. You could also try that. You have, or you haven't? Because then you're laying back, and it's not about your thighs, but you're just kind of laying back, and then you can like stimulate your clitoris. I mean, that stimulate your clitoris. It looks, can be hot to look at your ass from behind. Your partner can look at you. Also, with woman on top, you could be, there's ways you could do it where you're like crouched up with your feet are on either side of your partner, but you could also do it so you're lying flat on top of each other, and then you're doing like a grinding. Kind of like more of a grinding motion where you're lying like on your partner's chest. So it's more like, instead of the crouching, you're grinding and lying flat on top with your chest. You know what I'm saying? So your legs are kind of kicked back a little. You could also try it pillows. I mean, can I tell you, there's like pillows can do wonders for you, because you could even put your legs out straight. So you're probably right now, you're like kneeling, like you're probably mostly on your knees, or a variation of that where you're crouching, or you know what I mean? Like you're up on your knees. But if you could also do it so there's this sitting up cowgirl. So like, it's hard to, I always think it's so hard to explain positions sometimes on the show, but like if you are facing each other and you both sit up and you're holding each other, and you can like even wrap your legs around each other, your legs can go straight out. Does that make sense? Like a sitting up cowgirl, yeah, that's a great one too. Because again, your legs could be straight out, or they could be wrapped around each other, if that's what works best.
Okay.
Yeah, those are a lot of different options there.
More of like,
yeah, like you're.
That's a lot, actually.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like we have a blog on our website too. I'm pretty sure we do, like how to rock woman on top, or we probably have a few of them, cowgirl position. But that's, and I would try like, I don't know, I would just try a bunch of those and see use a lot of lube. But it sounds like with your hips, it's not even about that. You have enough, but that always, lube helps everything. Yeah, don't hurt yourself and use pillows and try some of that and let me know how it goes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. You're so welcome, Dee. I think that's common. We get asked that a lot. Like, I think it was called how to rock woman on top. But for some women, it's just not the most comfortable position. And I can explain it to you on here. And sometimes I think, God, is that, I think I want to do video. I want to do like some more like videos where I can explain to you guys the positions with my sex dolls or something. I also have a book called Hot Sex Over 200 Things Tonight. I haven't talked about that in a while, you guys, but it's a killer book you can get on our website. And the thing I love about it is there's all these really fun positions that you can just like put on your bedside table, great coffee table book, and you just open it to any page. You're like, let's try that tonight. And it also walks you through a lot of positions. Okay, next call we have Lewis, 34 from Orange County. He wants to know about defying conventional dating wisdom after divorce. How long should he wait to dive back in? Hey, Lewis.
Hey there.
Hi. How can I help you today? Tell me everything.
So, I don't even know where to begin. For a person that's been in a long marriage or a close to 10-year marriage and they're pressing the reset button, how does somebody do that? What's the best way to do it? For me personally, I feel like I've been out of it for so long, I just don't even know where to start. And I know you've talked about a bunch of different, apps and different dating websites and different things like that, but it's almost kind of awkward trying to start again.
Right. Yeah. So I'd say just when you're ready. Now I understand like people are like, oh, you should wait or you shouldn't wait or, and I feel like it's up to you. It's how you feel. And I know what you're saying about also you already feel like you've been over it because usually it takes, you didn't just decide in the day to get divorced, right? So you've probably been going through the divorce for several years. And so you probably are ready to meet someone, I would think, or at least date. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I talk about the apps a lot just because that's it does help if you're into apps, but I know you haven't tried it yet. So I would say you could start by just going out with friends. Do you have any single friends?
Not really. I mean, a lot of my friends are married with kids, so I'm leaving that demographic and hopping into a new one. So I have a brother who's a little bit younger than me. And that's about it. Right. Okay. Because I'm just asking because I figured a lot of times people are like, I don't have any, all my friends are married once they get divorced. This is going to get a lot easier. Like I feel like you're just starting to date right now, but I feel like if you just start to do the things that you normally like to do, like are there, you go to the gym or if there's like classes you want to take or anything you've been wanting to do, like it's just kind of like mixing up your routine. Like, how you get all those Facebook invites, for example? That you might not always look at. People like, so-and-so, like, I don't remember how I met that person, but they're having a party. It's Friday night. Go. Like, I know that might seem awkward, but no one's looking like, who's the guy that showed up or who's this? It's like, that's how you start to meet people. And I say, just say yes to some invitations that come your way that you wouldn't, like things that you would normally like, I wouldn't go to that. Just go. Because right now you're all about like experiencing, you're trying to figure out who you are as a single man now. Probably lots happened in 10 years. You were married for 10 years. Yeah. So 24 to 34, huge growth period for a lot of people. But to be in a marriage and now come out single, I mean, you're 34 is still you're very young. Do you have kids? I do.
Okay. You sound like so bummed. No, Lewis, that's awesome.
No, I do. I
don't mean you're bummed that you have kids, but you think it's going to be a problem to meet someone.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the divorce is baggage. Having kids is like, how many red flags can one guy have?
No, I'm telling you that. Okay, so here I'm going to tell you this. Is that it's not baggage. Only if you think it's baggage, it's baggage. And sure, some women will be like, no, I don't want a guy with kids. That's not your person. But it's a very different time right now where I think that people are going to like you because of you. And if they fall in love, they like you and you have kids, it's not really going to matter. If they might have kids, you might meet someone who, would you want to have more kids?
I do, actually.
Okay, great. I mean, there's a lot of women who be like, great, he already has kids. He's a great dad. In fact, I'm going to argue that a guy who's divorced and has kids, it could be a really, a very, what's the word I'm trying to think of? A very attractive target for a lot of women. They could be like, wow, oh my God, it shows that he can commit. He's responsible. He takes care of family. And so I think you got to switch your mindset because you're like, oh, the kids. No. I think that's who you are. You love your kids. I'm sure you're a great dad. So it's kind of like this reframing that you have to do. And of course you have to be open about it. You're not like hiding it that you have kids, but I think that, it's part of who you are and that it's not going to be that hard to meet someone. If you want me to talk to you about the apps, I can. And I don't, again, a lot of people on the apps are divorced. They're like, I'm divorced. I have a kid. They write it. It's like, fine. And I think that, it's not really a red flag. I mean, again, it's just like people who, smoke, or I always see guys who are drinking way too, in every photo, if they got a solo plastic red cup and they're drinking, I'm like, I'm not going to go with that guy. All he does is drink. Now that could be judgy, right? But that's my decision. So I think that, you sound like really personal. I'm sure, I feel like you are not going to have a problem, but there are no rules. And I don't think you need to wait a certain amount. If you're telling me that you're ready to go on a date, do it.
So you're saying for the apps that the best course is transparency?
Yes. Absolutely. Now,
What about? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No. What were you going to ask me? It's okay.
I was going to ask. So sometimes I've come across people with pictures of their kids with them. Is that something you recommend too?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that they're most okay. So I'm on these apps, and I'd say the people with kids typically say father, divorce, or father, 2 kids, or they put a picture with their kid, and they'll say, like, 8-year-old daughter, like, love, you know what I mean? So that, yes, I would say that most people, and if they have kids and they don't put it in there, I almost think it's weird. Now, I'm thinking like guys like in their 40s and stuff, but you're in your, it really doesn't matter. Like, I think it's a big part of who you are, and you don't want to just lead someone down a road. So I think that's who you are. You're divorced with kids. It's really not, there's a lot of people who are divorced, and a lot of people find that attractive. And so I wouldn't trip on it. I would be straightforward and, find your way of saying it. Like you lead, like, like obviously say your name, like Lewis, divorced dad, you could talk about a bunch of other things, like father to an amazing 7-year-old daughter who I love, single dad, like great job, whatever you want to say. But it's, again, I would be forthcoming and be honest. And I think you're going to be surprised at all the matches you're going to have. So I would try all of that. Go out in the world and try dating online. Try some Bumble action.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Some Bumble action. Okay.
Okay. Good luck, Lewis. You got this.
Hey, thank you very much, Emily.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
I think it used to be a big thing that when you get divorced, and maybe people still think this, and I'm just in the world so much talking about it with friends, and I see this, and I date, so it's like coming from all perspectives, is that it's not really a red flag. Like the fact that you show that you can commit and have a relationship, and people are waiting longer to get married, and people are, they're looking for that. They're like a lot of guys who never commit. And you're like, oh, has he never had a real relationship? So I don't think it's a bad thing. And I think also to think that there's a rule, like I have to wait exactly 2 years before I date again. Really, you got to date when you're ready for the right reasons. So I think, sometimes it takes half the relationship to just get out of it. So, he might have been over this for a few years. So good for you, Lewis. Have a good time. Okay, we've got Jesse. He's 36 from Utah, and he wants to re-enter the sex game after being on hiatus for about 5 years and overcoming previous relationship conundrums. So he wants some tips to get back into the swing of sex. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, how's it going, Emily?
So good. Now that I'm talking to you, what's going on? Tell me a little background here.
Yeah. I was diagnosed with a serious mental illness when I was 16.
What was that?
I had to take all kind of medications,
deal with
all kind of side effects.
What was the mental illness?
And, well, it kind of freaks people out when I tell them that I was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Okay. I'm not freaked out.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Just curious. So keep going.
Yep.
So you were diagnosed.
Yeah, I was diagnosed. I had to deal with sexual side effects like anorgasmia and difficulty maintaining an erection.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally found a combination of medications that allows me to have an orgasm. And my doctor gave me some Cialis in case I have trouble maintaining an erection.
Great.
And I think I might be ready to re-enter the sex game. But with the limited and kind of awful experience I've had with sex, it kind of seems overwhelming, and I don't really feel equipped to deal with it.
Right. So, no, I get it. Well, first of all, congratulations on getting the meds set and feeling that you're finally in a place where you can, start to date again. So I know it's not easy, like what you've been struggling with and what you've been going through. And I'm just happy that you were, able to figure all this out and that you're ready now. So whenever people get back into dating, or they haven't dated, or they've never had sex, or they haven't had sex in 10 years, it's always like, there's anxiety around it, right? We feel like we have to know everything. We have to be perfect and know the right things to say and all the right moves. But it's really not like that. There's not like a book you can read. I mean, you can listen to the podcast. I can give you tips. Yeah, there's not my podcast. I can answer all the questions for you. I mean, I try. But really, it's about your own mindset and feeling like you're, being confident, being, and being okay with like might be a little uncomfortable at first, like getting out there. Like you might get rejected. Like you're not going to die. Like no one gets, it's not horrible. You've been through a lot of stuff right now. And it's really about like practicing and figuring out who you are in that role again, in that dating role, and in that who you are as like a, sexual male if you haven't been having sex. So, so I understand all of that, like right now that you're having this anxiety, but tell me, where have you started yet? Are you like out there? Have you asked anyone out yet? Or where are we at right now?
I've had a few dates over the last year. One of them seemed kind of promising, but then she moved out of state.
Okay.
The other wasn't very interested, and the last one I wasn't really interested in. So.
Okay. So what's happening? How are you finding these people to date, the women to date?
Almost exclusively online.
Okay. So you've got the apps, and then you're like swiping, and then you match, and then you guys go. So did something happen? I'm just curious. Is your question more about sex, or is it more about dating? How can I help you exactly? What's your exact question? Tell me how I can help you.
I don't really know where to begin, Over the last year, my confidence has developed. I've lost 70 pounds. I've got my associate's degree.
Congratulations.
I started working being disabled in 2009. But I don't know, with, just not being able to connect with my girlfriend in that way was just really hard.
Right.
And I have a hard time letting myself believe that a relationship and sex could work.
Right. Of course, because you haven't had that experience. But now, right. So you're saying in the past it was hard before, when you were on the meds, that weren't allowing you to enjoy sex? Is that when it was hard with this ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, but keep in mind that's been 20 years.
Oh, so. Okay. Yeah. God, we're just rewriting it. So anytime we're like living in the past or thinking this is going to be, which you're doing right now, you're like, oh, that was like so long ago and it was so hard. Like this is a whole new you, like you are in this, you've worked really, really hard to get yourself to a healthy place, like, doctors, and you've been, losing weight and doing all these things to be like the healthier Jesse. So you're not even that Jesse anymore. You wouldn't even recognize him, right? So it's kind of like, that's all, those are all your thoughts. Like this is a belief that you have around who you are and who you're going to be with these women. Like none of it is true because this Jesse hasn't even been out yet. Like I think it's just really getting comfortable again, being social. Like do you have friends? Do you have community? Do you have people you hang out with?
Yeah. I go to meetup groups, and I have a group of friends that I hang out with fairly regularly.
Okay, that's great. So that's awesome. So I think that you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself right now because, you're like, I got to be out there and I got to be doing it right. And I think like the soonest, like I'm going to tell you, Jesse, like I'm going to tell you, just you take, if you can think about my voice, just telling you like, it's okay. Like you don't have to date tomorrow. You don't, just go easy on yourself. And I would say what's more important is like just going out with friends and people and connecting. And then once you get comfortable in this zone, like it sounds like everything's kind of normalizing, stabilizing for you now, that I think it's just going to happen that you're going to you'll meet women when you're out. Like you'll start talking to people and you'll just feel more comfortable in this new place that you're at. Cause it sounds like you've gone through a lot of transformations and you're still trying to figure out like, who are you in the world perhaps? And so a lot of times we're like, well, I got the job. Now I got to get the girlfriend. I got my mental health right. And it's like, that's a lot of things at once. And so I would say just kind of ride this right now, one step at a time, and, just keep, be busy in the world and like see your friends and family. And sure, you can date, but even the apps could give that sense of urgency. Like I text her back, and so I should make a date with her and be matched. And you know what I'm saying? So maybe you should go off the apps and just kind of focus on one thing right now. And that's just kind of having a really full, rich life. By being out there, you will meet people, and then maybe pick up the apps again when doesn't feel like you have so much pressure.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. I'm proud of you. I feel like you've been through a lot, and you're in a good place. So this isn't like another thing to like, beat yourself up with, but it's going to all come to you. It all is coming to you. So.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good luck, Jesse.
All right. Can I say one last thing?
Please.
About a year ago, I added producer Madison
Yep.
On Facebook. We've gotten to know each other. I know she doesn't work on the show anymore, but could I give her a quick shout out?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
All right. Producer Madison, if you're listening, you need to get back to me about the drunk history job.
Okay. I'll let her know. Thanks, Jesse.
All right, thanks.
Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
God, we're all so hard on ourselves. We really are. I know we all like think that we got to be, perfect at dating and perfect at sex and be, everything. And it's just really hard if we haven't we've been, out for a while and we haven't been dating, like I just think that we all have to go a little easy on ourselves. I think in every area of our life, right? We're all really hard on ourselves, and I do it as well. That's why it's I'm saying now I'm not going to be hard on myself at all today, or maybe not even tomorrow. How about you? Let's just make commitments around those things. It feels really good. Okay, everyone, I love talking to everybody. Thank you so much for calling in and being a part of the show and emailing me. I love you all. Follow me on social media because it's a good time. It's all at Sex with Emily. Thanks to my amazing team, Ken, Helena, producer Lark, Jamie, and Michael. And thank you to all of my listeners. Thanks for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.